Are we live? What's good, great people? I am Eza Moon, and I have a special guest in the building today. Joining me this evening, author, screenwriter, my God, director, an inspiration for some of my writing coming up, Zane shall be joining me for a frank conversation. I want to give a big shout out to tonight's sponsor, and that is the 1865 Festival. You guys, beat me there, don't meet me there. It shall be held in Atlanta, Georgia. And man, it's going to be a celebration of not only just the Juneteenth, but also comedy and the history of comedy. So there'll be comedians from all over the world meeting out there in Atlanta, Georgia. So you guys, I'm bringing up my most honored guest this evening, Zane. Hello, hello.
Hi, how are you?
I'm well. How are you doing today?
I'm doing good. First time in the IG live video, so.
Oh, I got the okay. So I got the honor of getting you first.
Yeah.
Look,
Never done
look.
it before.
Wow. So this is gonna that means that this is just has to be absolutely amazing. Then that's all that means. So I'm gonna make sure that I make this process as smooth as possible. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling good. How about yourself?
Honestly, so I love doing this because I got a little nervous prior to it starting. I'm like, okay, well, I get one of my heroes as it pertains to the writing process. So I was like, okay, my heart started beating, but I'm feeling good.
But don't worry, I only back Sundays.
Most definitely. Before we get started, speaking of, being one of the people I look to as the icon, as far as it pertains to writing, I wanted to tell you that, I tried writing like you at one point in time in my life. I really, really did. I tried to do a little mini detective series. And these, no one will ever find these little, jottings that I did. Because I tucked it away and hid it. So that, but yeah, so at one point in time I really did try. And there's something that I love about about your writing in particular. It's the fact that you're so descriptive, right? You held no punches. You made sure that you could almost feel it as you imagined it, right? You could literally imagine every single thing that took place. And like I said, that right there, as I write poetry today, every now and again, I'm like, that's literally where I go. I'm not saying it's the same subject matter, but I will say, I know to make sure that I'm as descriptive as possible.
Oh yeah, that's good. Yeah, I am very descriptive.
Now, really quickly, my daddy was a number runner by Louis Merriweather.
Louise Merriweather.
I apologize. That was the closest you came to erotica before writing. How'd you find that book?
Both of my parents were educators.
Right.
So growing up, we had what we called the study, which was really a lower basement in our house.
Right.
So my father on any given day had anywhere between 8,000 to 10,000 books in our basement.
Wow.
So I found it down there. I would go down there. That's why I found Sounder and the autobiography of Miss Jane Pittman and a whole lot of other stuff too. But yeah, I found that book down there.
Would you say that was the book that that really inspired you to go into writing, or was there any other books that you can pinpoint and say, what, this is actually the thing that made me want to pick up my pen?
No, it definitely wasn't that book. As a child, I had a very vivid imagination. I always loved books.
Right.
In elementary school, a lot of my teachers predicted that I would grow up and become a famous writer. But I never really did it until I got bored enough. And I just did that. I was just playing around online. Then for 3 years, I played around online. And then a rumor got started that I had a book out. And I was like, what would happen if I put out a book? And I said, well, nobody knows I'm Zane anyway. So I waited a whole additional year, and then I just put out a book, and the rest is kind of history. But no, that definitely wasn't the book that inspired me to come here. But I had just mentioned that because I truly had never read erotica and didn't even know I was writing erotica. Like you started the conversation out by saying I'm very descriptive. So I wrote a story that was very descriptive, but it was descriptive about everything in the story, including the sex. And then all of a sudden, people said I was an erotica writer. So,
So you just stepped into that role as like, okay, I guess I'm an erotica writer.
yeah, and I mean, I write stuff that's not erotic, but I'm just very descriptive. But when it's a sex scene, I guess people, because I don't sugarcoat anything or um, I don't mask terms, like I use the real language that people use in real life. I guess that's why people,
Yeah.
started saying I was an erotic writer.
So
That's
they just
stories and stuff are clearly, erotic. But my regular books, I write about a lot of stuff, but I don't tone down the sex because I don't believe in real life that people go through their lives, living their lives, and then tone down sex in reality. I mean, that's usually the time when people have the least stress, where they're the least inhibited.
where they feel the most alive.
Yeah, so just like people in real life, at least they shouldn't be. That shouldn't be um, the least time that they're vibrant and all that stuff. It's the same thing in books. I just simply don't tone it down.
So then you would be the descriptive queen, not the erotica queen.
Myself, the descriptive queen, and
Absolutely.
I have a very interesting imagination too. Sometimes I scare myself.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, scare me really fast. Tell me what's something that you feel like is out there that you've thought of as far as, whether it be writing or just life in general.
Honestly, the stuff that I felt was too out there, I didn't publish it. I didn't put it out. To be honest, hard to imagine that, but there are a couple of times I felt that I had really crossed the line too much, and I didn't publish those stories. And the reason why is because I know a lot of people read my stories and live the things out, and that kind of stuff. And so I do feel a sense of responsibility when it comes to certain stuff that I don't want going and trying in real life. So I'll just put it that way. There were a couple of things that I didn't want people saying, "Well, Zane put it in the book," so.
Hey,
That's where I got the idea from. It's kind of like when they say a lot of these younger people, at least back in the day, they used to say that a lot of kids were doing stuff because of video games.
right.
That's
They still say that today.
and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
I feel there's certain things with my imagination. I thought it was interesting, but I decided not to put it out because I didn't want people like they'll think, do not try this at home."
Right.
So, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's it. That's actually that kind of that's speaking to you as a person. The fact that you will take into your mindset that, hey, maybe one or two of my readers out there may in fact decide to they may be emboldened enough to go out and try some of these things. Let me just tone that down a bit. Let me just set that to the side.
Yeah.
That's it really shows a level of care that honestly artists in all forms of art don't really have, right? Because
Right.
it's every artist is sensitive about what it is that they do. So if they like it, they're gonna put it out, and whatever happens, happens.
Yeah, it's hard to imagine that there's something that I feel crossed the line because of everything I've written, but there are at least two things I can think of on top of my head that I wrote that I decided not to put out.
Okay, so here's the thing. Later, if you enjoy what we do today, please let me know because I want to read it, and I'm an inquisitive soul. So,
Oh, but that's so long ago. I don't even know where that stuff is. I know what it was.
okay.
I know where those things are.
Well, you see what this is right here? This is it here because I can't. You said you touched on this, but I want to actually go into it a little bit further. You said that really not only you but your friends as well as your parents. As I did my research, I was seeing so many people saying you were always into books. Even someone said that you were a friend of yours said that you were like a vampire. You would go off, you would write, and then you would come back. I wonder, what else held your attention, or was it just specifically the writing?
I am a very creative. I think, like most creative people, I'm creative in more than one space. However, over the years, writing has been my primary focus, but I like anything creative. For example, if I'm going out somewhere, I would prefer to go to an art museum or a live show, with live music or a poetry slam or stuff like that. I like creativity. So by that token, I like doing things like, I was just telling my youngest son the other day, I want to get some painting stuff and start painting again. I'm very musical by nature. I need to start doing things that I really enjoy. But writing and directing and stuff like that is my primary focus, creating in the reading, writing material, and in the visual space.
Let me ask you a question. You say that you're musically inclined.
Mm.
Did what forms of music are you into? What genres are you into?
Oh, you'd be surprised. I listen to just about everything. But I started playing the piano when I was 3.
Word.
I've been musically inclined for a long time.
What did
Uh,
your parents force you to play the piano, or was that something that you tried for yourself?
Natural because I was the youngest, so all of my siblings and I all went to the same woman's house, Mrs. Satterwhite, and so my lessons started at 3. I'm not quite sure when my siblings all started. They were all older than me, but all of us took, lessons from the same woman. Then we all played other instruments as well. Like I played the guitar as I got older. I played the clarinet. One of my sisters played the violin. All of us played the piano though.
Right.
Also played other instruments as well.
Okay. Okay. Look at me having something in common with Zane. All right. So I have actually played piano, bass, and trombone. Trombone.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. Hmm.
Yeah, I tried my hand, but I realized later on in life that this is what I'm good at. Yeah.
Yeah.
When did you realize? When did it dawn on you that, hey, you know what? I actually have a knack for writing, for directing. What moment was that for you?
Well, writing, I've kind of known that for a long time. Like I said,
Right.
I didn't get bored enough to do it initially, but I've now been Zane for 25 years. So, I mean, that just proves to me that I'm actually walking in my passion and in my gift because it hasn't gotten old for me. And I still love it probably more than I did in the beginning. Um, so with that, as far as directing, a lot of people don't realize I actually have been directing in one form or another since 2007. I'm just now really kind of claiming that spot, so to speak. I have a new film about to come out under my government name, and I'll explain why I'm doing that. I Wish I Never Met You is a Christina LaFern Roberts film, which is my name. And the reason I'm starting to do films, I will still do Zane stuff. But the reason that I wanted to start doing stuff as Christina Roberts is because I don't want people to jump to the conclusion that it's going to be a Zane type of movie. This movie, and in fact, I intentionally left a lot of the sex scenes I filmed on the cutting room floor.
Mm,
But there are kids in here, their grandparents, it's a lot going on. So I don't want people to think, oh, it's a sex movie. No, it's not.
right.
But everybody that has watched it, I showed it to 2 women yesterday, including Jamie Foster Brown from Sister to Sister. And when I say their mouths were hanging open the whole time, they were screaming at the screen. They, one woman, her toes curled up.
What?
They were just like, and afterwards, it was like a whole discussion. They wanted to have like a whole discussion. Like Jamie wants me to, do these videos. And I said, well, the movie got to come out first. I don't want to talk about, happening. But let me just say, it's a lot to unpack. I like to write stuff that surprises people. A lot of people always think they can predict what's going to happen in my books and then they're shocked. It's the same thing, with this film. people are not going to have any idea what's about to happen, unless somebody spoils it for them, of course. And I hope that people don't do that. You know, nothing I can do about that. But I love the title because who doesn't know somebody they wish they never met?
Mm. This is true.
All of us,
We are.
you know, I'm sure like there are plenty of people that all of us would want to say that to. In fact, if anybody wants to make a video, I'm going to start a challenge. I've started 2 challenges.
Okay.
A video talking about whoever they wish they never met. Don't name them though, please. But and tag the I Wish I Never Met You film page. And then I'm also starting a lip sync contest for the theme song of the movie because the theme song is hot, hot, hot.
Okay.
Yeah, you know, and make people really feel like, yeah, I wish I never met you, you know, like that kind of thing. So I want this to be kind of like a movement. But I will say this because I always have a way to explain my books without really telling anything. And so I have a way to explain this movie also if I tell you. And like I'm having the trailer cut now. And it's interesting because I'm going to have a longer trailer than usual, but people still will not have any idea what's going to happen in the movie. So, in a nutshell, the movie takes place in the span of one 24-hour period. And it's about a birthday party for a woman who's turning 40 years old. She's married with 2 kids. And for the first 30 minutes of the movie, we see the different people that are coming to the party. Get to kind of know a little bit, you know, about what's going on with them. They show up at the party, and for the whole second act, I'm just gonna say people gonna be talking, okay?
Mm.
And then you have the aftermath. So I'm gonna leave it there. But it's a birthday party that no one will ever forget. I'll say that.
Look, see now you can see you've piqued my interest.
Yeah,
Y'all,
we'll never get the party.
look, I can't wait. I honestly cannot wait for this myself because I'm someone that I like interesting things and intriguing things. And the way in which you describe that for me without telling the story, I'm like, okay, I wonder what happened at this birthday party.
Yeah,
What makes you
you know, everybody has secrets,
right?
and while every day is a day for a chance for a new beginning, it's also a chance for a new ending. So,
Mm.
it'll be interesting is for people to see who actually makes it and who doesn't, you know, and all the stuff. And it deals with real life, you know, stuff that couples go through, that, you know, families go through. It's real life, you know, if I could say shit, it's real life stuff. And I'm excited because everybody that's seen it so far has had like, oh my gosh, you know, one lady, one of the ladies I saw yesterday, she was practically in tears telling me how it moved her. There were 2 particular topics in there that really moved her. That to the point where she was almost in tears, and she like thanked me for dealing with those topics in a movie because she said she never sees those 2 topics, not the way that I approach them. So I can't wait to see. The only thing about it, the premiere is I know there's gonna be loud in there.
Yeah.
Gonna be because nobody's gonna be able to hear anything. But yeah, it's gonna be interesting.
I really, like I said, I can't wait for it myself. You know, I feel like it's gonna be amazing. Man, it seems like you really put your foot in this one, especially if you have people that are toe curling, you know,
Curl and scream.
screaming at the TV. Look, if you get someone emotionally invested to where they screaming
Yeah,
at the TV, that's a different level.
yeah.
You know, I wanted to jump to something that you touched on earlier, you know, and it's amazing to me because you know, I always wonder, you know, who am I speaking with, right? You know, because at this point in time, of course, you know, I put on the fly Zane, right? Because that is the personality everyone has come to know, you know, or know, right? But as far as Miss Roberts,
Yeah.
you know, I personally would love to be speaking with her, you know, because
Oh, you are. I'm one and the same. You
oh,
are.
oh Okay, cool. You know, when you once you said that, Zane is what I do, right? And made it akin to a job, and I was wondering, is there a process for you whenever you're stepping into that role, right? Or is it just,
No,
just
not a process. It's just, again, I started being Zane 25 years ago. And
right,
I think anybody will be in the same place as far as maturity or in the same place as far as things that are important to them over a 25-year span. So while like I'm going to put out my next book, my next Zane book called Deceptive Behavior. My next movie I'm actually doing as Zane because it is, it's got that, Zane flavor to it.
that flavor.
Yeah. And then the next movie after that, Crazy Never Sleeps, I'm doing is Christina. For the same reasons that I mentioned before, it's not a Zane type of movie. Deceptive Behavior is a Zane type of movie. So I am doing that, as Zane. I just want to, I don't want the lines to be blurred.
Right.
And I want it to be clear to people as far as what they're expecting. Not to come or not to go on Amazon Prime and pay for it thinking that it's going to be like Zane's Sex Chronicles. Which,
Right.
by the way, for those who missed it, I will make this the first time I've announced this. I am going to bring the Sex Chronicles back and the Jump Off.
A
So
whole
38 episodes between the two shows combined at 38 episodes. So I'm going to bring them back. So those that missed it or heard about it or, remember it and want to see it again, this is the first time I'm announcing this. I am bringing them back.
most
And everybody know, where I'm bringing them back to.
Oh my gosh, man. Y'all, this is an exclusive. You
Yeah.
heard it here first.
Yeah.
The Sex Chronicles are coming back.
Yeah. And it's so because I was watching the pilot the other day. I haven't watched the shows since forever myself. But I'm still extremely proud of what we all did. The cast, the crew, the storyline. I'm glad that there's been a lot of evolution in television and film, particularly when it comes to the sensuality and sexuality of people of color. But I'm sorry, I don't think anybody's beat me yet.
Mm,
No, I'm just gonna put that. I don't
mm.
think they have. I don't think they have. Not as far as truly pushing the envelope and doing it in a way that I feel was classy, imaginative, and my sex scenes look real.
Yeah.
Like if people used to argue me down, you know, they
About what night was actually happening.
sex. And I'm like, look, they were not having sex. Somebody asked me a question actually yesterday. And I said, no, I guarantee you that all the men had on socks and all the women had on patches. And I was sitting like right there.
Right.
And like if I saw a patch or something hit the floor, I was like, cut! You know what I mean? And here's a funny story. We were getting ready to shoot a scene in a hot tub one time. And I was so worried that I kept asking the wardrobe guy, Moonglow. He's on Instagram, Moonglow. And I kept asking him, how are we going to make sure this patch don't come off? He was like, I got this adhesive, Zane. It's going to be okay. I had him put a patch on his arm with that adhesive and put his arm in the hot tub. And you should have seen the crew laugh. The crew was falling out laughing. I wanted to make sure. He was like, yeah, I got this adhesive. It's not going to come. So I made him go put one on his arm and dip his arm in the pool and wave it around, and do all this stuff.
Look, the director's gonna direct. That is wild.
Sure, going to be any slip up. So I made him show me how that patch was going to stay on.
No, most definitely.
Mm-hmm.
I,
So, record, nobody actually had sex on my show. Okay, so I'm fair, I know.
now you know that when Sex Chronicles come back out and it's going, the rumor mill is going to start flowing again, right?
It does look very real. It looks like I'm very good at it. it looks, I mean, it looks real. It looks like they're really having sex. So I can understand why people might think that, because other people, the other stuff I've seen, you can kind of tell it's fake.
Right.
I mean, I've seen some really erotic stuff, but the way we did it, you really, I mean, it looks real,
Yeah.
you know. Mm-hmm.
Most definitely. I look, like I said, I cannot wait. I I can't wait. Just you let me know when it goes up, and I'm on whatever platform I'm watching it.
I definitely, yeah, I definitely be putting the word out.
Um, for for you, you in that right there, you kind of touched on it, right? Controlling the narrative. How do you do that in a world where it seems like the media is just hell bent on tearing people down?
Mm-hmm. How do I control the narrative in regards to?
And really, in regards to anything, right? Because there are so many different viewpoints on who you are, what your life is like, what the even the art that you put out.
Mm-hmm.
How do you feel like you stem the tide?
Well, honestly, it's funny because I do not read stuff about myself.
Really?
No, and I get that question a lot from reporters, like, how do I deal with criticism? And the answer is I don't. You know, if
Mm-hmm.
the other day I was talking about, I have a few different names, to possible names for my memoir, but I think ultimately I may call my memoir "I Said What I Said."
Hey, that's the one.
Names that I've thought of for my memoir, I think that's the one for me. I said what I said. Which simply, connected to that is I did what I did. And I always knew that there were going to be people that could not accept what I write and how I think. And I'm fine with that. I'm not for everybody. In my very first book, The Sex Chronicles Shattering the Myth, I had the very beginning, you open up the book and it's still there. The first page says, if you are sexually repressed, sexually oppressed, or have any sexual hangups whatsoever, please put my book down and step away from it. I say something like that. Because the Sex Chronicles is too hot for your ass. Like, I'm not making any apologies. So here's your warning. You know what I mean? So after that, if you choose to read it, then don't come to me, saying, oh, like over the years, I've had people, oh, you're wasting your talent. You're writing filth. I had one lady, I'll never forget. Yeah, I've read 11 of your books, and you're wasting your talent. You could write something else. And to prove my point, I gave your books to 7 of my friends, and they said the same thing. It was like, this is where I am. If I don't like something, or I'm not trying to read something or anything like that, I'd be damned if I'm gonna read 11 books by somebody if I'm not.
Facts.
And I damn sure not gonna get their books to 7 other people.
What? That doesn't make any sense. It's so what? So you advertise for me? I appreciate it.
Yeah, and it's like I'm not going to change a word of what I write. And like I've had people on Facebook, tag me over the years about what I post on my page, what I say. It's like I don't know how many times I've said on Facebook, if you don't like what I post, don't let the doorknob hit you on the ass on the way out. Because nobody's going to tell me, what to write, what to post, what to say. If I said it, I meant it. That's why I said what I meant. Yeah, I said what I said. Yeah, because I do think about stuff before I say it. Like if it comes out my mouth, I realize it's going out into the universe, and I mean it. It's as simple as that.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. See, that's a mindset that, is really hard to keep nowadays, especially in this generation, because, you not taking a look at the things that are being said about you is inspiring to me. Because I'm someone, I read all the comments and everything like that, and and it can in fact take its toll on the mental, right? So to separate myself from that and just stay grounded in what it is that I'm doing, being so having the fortitude to say, hey, I said what I said, and You know, I meant it. I meant that.
Article. I don't need to read an article to learn about myself. I know exactly who I am.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? If other people want to think they know who I am or think they know what I'm thinking or anything like that, they can go for it, you know. But I know I don't need to read an article about myself. For what? I'm just being honest. I mean, what would I possibly need to read an article about myself for?
Most definitely. Most definitely. You know, people like I said, people just, especially in this day and age, and some people just want to be throw their negativity projected onto you, in the things that they write. And so, you know, to stay away from that bad energy, you know, I think that I'm gonna use your tactic. And
Yeah, because I've had people say something to me about my beef with this person or my beef with that person. I'm like, what beef? You know, they had some kind of one-sided beef. You know,
right.
that. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, I literally can't think of one person in this industry that I've ever had a beef with. I'm just happy for everybody to be doing what they love to do. I, love everybody. I hope that everybody's dreams come true. Now, does that mean I'm gonna deal with everybody? No, but I legitimately have no. I hope that everybody gets what they want out of life. And I'm not a competitive type person. I mean, I published over 120 other authors.
Yeah.
Literally, and Allison Hobbs, for example, I published almost 40 books by Allison Hobbs. So obviously, I'm about building people up, not tearing them down. So anybody that says something that I did something or that that's their personal issue because I honestly haven't done anything to anyone.
Mm.
So for everybody out there, somebody saying something, trust and believe there's a reason behind that. Because I work very, very hard at keeping my life peaceful. I don't do drama. I'm not one of those people that invites drama into my front door and tells it to have a seat at my dining room table. I'm just not doing it. I live a very, people be surprised. I know a lot of people, but I live a very peaceful existence. And I love it.
The fact, you see,
Mhm.
I look.
You know, and the reason it's peaceful is because I don't let people get to me. I don't absorb negative energy. I don't listen to negative things that are said about me, and I'm very comfortable with everything that I've done and everything that I'm doing. And even with my new movie, I Wish I Never Met You, I already know that there are going to be some people that
Yeah.
are not going to be comfortable with this movie. But it's not meant to be a comfortable movie. There are going to be some hit dogs that will holler,
That's true.
but it's not meant to be a comfortable movie. I once again, like I've done a lot in the past, I do tackle some double standards. The double standards out here that exist between men and women. Men are not gonna like it. I remember when Addicted came out, some men actually said they actually had to leave the theater. I'm like, for what? Because men cheat all the time, but some of them simply could not deal with the fact that a woman was cheating on her husband.
Right.
Yeah, but the guy that she was cheating with really had his feelings hurt. They could have, but how many times had they done that to women? So yeah, some people might want to, was it the new term now, cancel culture me, all that kind of stuff. But hey, but if people really watch the movie, um, they will. I hope that people will watch it intently enough to see where I'm going with the different topics, because I do have a reason that I have every single thing in that movie, and I am making a statement with every single thing in that movie. So yeah.
See, see, you touched on something that, I wonder for you, in today's day and age, right? How do you feel like double standards are portrayed as now versus, when you were coming up?
Mm-hmm.
Because I feel like it's different. It's like we all can acknowledge that there are double standards, and we all can, and we acknowledge that, oh, hey, some of these play to our advantage, which
Right.
is why we excuse some of these other double standards.
Mm-hmm.
What are your thoughts?
I think, like I said, I'm very happy to see a lot of the things that have been done since I started. A lot of the books, a lot of the television shows, a lot of the movies. I think that the sexual liberation of women, particularly women of color, has definitely evolved. But I also know that there are double standards that still exist. For example, I will say one thing because it is going to you can kind of tell in the trailer when it comes out. Like, for example, there's a May December romance. But in this case, the woman is 30 years older than the man. But you would never know she's 30 years. I mean, because she's a hot tamale. You see what I'm saying? But I know, but he's a man though. He's in his, mid to late 20s, so he's a man. He's not like a, a 17-year-old child or anything. But that's a double standard. Because men, like, for example, on dating apps, a man can go on a dating app. He could be 55 years old, and he could put in his dating range, 25 to 65. Look, if a woman did that, oh my gosh, people would be talking about her from here until forever. So that is one of the things that I tackle in it. And some people are going to be uncomfortable with it. But at the same time, it's so funny. Can I curse on here or say? Like,
oh, you are Miss Roberts. You can say whatever you want.
So when I was showing the movie to two women yesterday, one of the women, when she saw the young guy come in and kiss the older woman, I fell out of it. She said, "Oh, 64." She's like, "Oh, you trying to give a nigga hope." As soon as she saw him coming in the house, and I just fell out laughing. She's like, "I'm 64, but I got a 50-year-old Navy come up." I thought that was so funny, when she said that. I mean, she literally screamed out, "Oh, you about to give a nigga hope." And I just thought that was hilarious.
Oh my gosh, that is hilarious. I gotta clip that part from this. I'm gonna use that. But that's that. But it's crazy though, right? Because that it seems like it's so off balance, right? Because I don't think there's anything wrong with an older, woman dating younger men. If anything, I feel like it's a little bit creepier to see an older man dating a younger woman because I think there's a certain stigma that goes inside my head whenever I see
I
things.
would never date anybody, that much younger than me.
Right.
I mean, I don't see if it's two grown people,
Right.
and they decided to do that, then that's their business,
Absolutely.
But of course, in the film, a lot of people have an issue with it.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It'll make for great discussion though.
Yeah, I have a lot of. When I say this movie, like I could actually make a whole discussion guide on the movie, but I don't want to do that because I don't want people to go and read the discussion guide and then know, everything that's in the movie. But I can't wait to have online discussions about the film once it is released, with people that have seen it, because I do think it's definitely going to be a discussion topic. Period. Yeah. Absolutely. And that's what I want. I want to, there can be no progress without discussion. So, I feel like this movie will have, and that's probably just like one of like 12 topics that people will be discussing from the film.
Look, you already got me thinking about who I wish I never met. Now I'm over here thinking about, the double standards as it pertains to dating and ageism. Look, you got a lot of topics now. Okay.
Yeah, I got a lot.
I wanted to say, if you need somebody to run the panel, you let me know.
Okay.
I got you. Is it okay if I just do a slight transition here?
Sure.
Identity, right? Touched on it way earlier, but it's something that I didn't let go of. you found somebody impersonating. You met someone that was impersonating you in
Yeah.
Jamaica, and
Yeah.
that's the reason why you came out as Zane, right?
Yeah, I had a bunch of impersonators. It was unbelievable, actually. It was unbelievable. Yeah, I did run into myself at hedonism. But
You went
there,
to hedonism.
there were people, yeah, I actually did a trip to hedonism one year. I was actually there doing a site visit. But yeah, I ran into myself at hedonism. There were people going around doing book club meetings as me, doing book signings as me. It was just really, really fascinating to me because I never really understood what the point was because ultimately the book sales came back, linked back to me. But for some reason, people wanted to impersonate me. So yeah, that was one of the reasons. It was that, and then because of the whole Zane thing, the press and everything, it was almost became like a really big deal. Them trying to figure out who I was and all that stuff. But I'll tell you, the main reason I did it was because I was publishing other people. And
Mm,
I felt like in order to really support their books, I needed to come out from behind the scenes and become the be the face of the publishing company to promote, all these other authors that I was publishing. So that was the main reason. If I had not been publishing a bunch of other people, I may not have ever actually have come out, to be honest with you. Because nobody knew what I looked like. I mean, I showed up at a event that Simon and Schuster was having at Tiffany's in New York, and everybody, that was the first time that most people had ever seen me. And I showed up there, and then I let the New York Times do an article. Um, I let the New York Times do an article that kind of outed me. They had this huge picture of me, like on the front of the fashion or the style section or something. For a person who asked, when is my next book signing? I don't know because I got to put a book out, but I'm about to turn in my next book. Yeah, I am. Yeah, I am having a movie premiere in Atlanta though, on May 11th. So
ooh, don't say that. Let me make sure I can be there. Hold on.
yeah, you can anybody's interested in coming to the movie premiere in Atlanta or the one in the DC area, please contact my daughter who's in the room, Ariad_Justice. Having movie premieres.
I'll pin her comment. That's her right there, pinned at the bottom, you guys. So just in case you want to get in contact with her.
Oh,
And
I didn't realize that she's pinned. Okay, I was like, okay.
yeah, technology is, man. Look, we
I'm
do a lot of things.
telling you, I'm learning tonight. I don't know anything about this stuff. Yeah.
Mm,
But
mm.
thank you, Carla, for all of your compliments and stuff. You can mark my words. Thank you so much. I did see. I'm trying to keep up, y'all.
I've
Trying.
been, I've been trying to pin them as they come. Like, oh man, that's a good one. All right now.
Right, I do have a book signing in Alabama on April 30th. See, she knows more than me.
Look, there, there it is.
Yeah.
See, I love, if there's two things that I've noticed, from our conversation.
I'm sorry. Comments. Okay. Yeah.
Uh, if there was two things that I noticed from our conversation, it's that you seem to step outside of the box as it pertains to other people, right? It seems that you know you're very, very, you'll go the extra mile for others, right? You know, do you give yourself that same grace as well? I know you talked through. I feel like you do because earlier you were saying, "Hey, I live a private life. I know a lot of people. I live a very private life, and I love my peace." Right? But have you ever sacrificed your peace for others?
Oh, yes.
Mm,
Absolutely. Oh, yes. But, I finally figured out that it wasn't healthy for me.
right,
And it really ultimately didn't have a positive income in a way.
right,
But yes, I have. But I'm not saying I've sacrificed my peace for other authors, although, I've had some bring drama and stuff. I'm talking
right.
about my personal life. I'm sure everybody's tried to help people that didn't really want to be helped. I'll just put it that way.
Yes.
And you can't save somebody that doesn't want to be saved. Yeah. So yeah, I have sacrificed my peace for people before.
You know,
And I keep saying I'm never going to do it again, and I hope I don't ever do it again. You know,
but you find yourself in that place doing it again.
not at the moment. I'm good right now.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm good right now. Yeah, I hope it stays that way.
I respect it.
Mhm.
Um, you know, as Women's History Month draws to a close, I definitely wanted to make sure that we honored you, that we, for wielding your platform not only to help and inspire women all across the globe, but also, for really just
Hey, Shay.
just being who you are and stepping into your power. You know, you once said, I think a lot of my characters are the type of women a lot of us would be if we didn't have any fear of being judged. Uh, I wonder, where in your life, what experiences in your life brought you to that conclusion?
Oh, I mean, I used to joke all the time. Like, if I didn't, if I wasn't, married with kids, young kids, and stuff back in the day, y'all wouldn't even been able to find me. Other about this, like, I would have been testing out that whole international lover thing,
Oh
you
my,
or for diseases or fear of being judged, and I know my daughter's on here probably laughing, but if I didn't have the responsibilities and stuff, and that's what I mean by that. I do believe that there are two sides to every woman. The woman that we kind of have to be, to keep ourselves under control, and the woman that we would be if we didn't have any fear, judgment, diseases, had all the time in the world, didn't have to worry about getting pregnant, all of that kind of stuff like that. It would, that's a totally different situation. So a lot of the women in my books just, you know, live their lives the way that they want to live them. Mm-hmm.
why do you think that there's such an emphasis on inhibiting women in this day and age, especially today, right? Because we see, with the passage of certain laws, for women, where women can't do things with their bodies. I don't know how much I don't know how much to say in regards to that, but why do you feel like there's such an emphasis on, hey, keeping women boxed in?
Well, I think some of it is based in religion. Some of it is based in people just being old fashioned. And I don't know how true this is because I haven't gone and looked it up. But I was speaking to a woman the other night who was apparently, and I'm going to put this apparently, allegedly, all this in front of this because I don't know this woman.
Gotcha.
She was apparently held in Dubai for 3 years and finally got released like last year.
Right.
He was telling me some unbelievable stuff about some of the laws in Dubai. She said, in this day and age, if you get pregnant outside of marriage, that they actually lock the women up in jail, and that the child can stay in jail with them for up to 5 years.
The child can stay.
All this up. She said that it's illegal to get pregnant outside of marriage. And she said she used to work with a guy at a restaurant over there who was fooling around with one of the employees at the restaurant. The woman got pregnant, but they were in a serious relationship. So he married her. But when the baby was born, they counted back the months from the marriage and the baby. And even though they're married, they're not allowed to get a birth. They didn't lock her up, but they're not allowed to get a birth certificate for their child because they figured out she got pregnant before they got married. Now, again, I haven't looked all this stuff up yet, but I will say this, that I do know that there's still a lot of countries where women are seriously oppressed. I do know that. I that movie I saw a long time ago was like the stoning of Sorora M. I don't know if that's the exact name, but it was based on a true story about a woman who was stoned to death in a country because she had an affair. And even her husband, they put her in the ground with rocks around her head, and even her own sons and her own husband threw stones at her until she was dead. And I know that there are still countries where the countries where if the husband marries someone, the father of the bride gives him a bullet with a gun with 2 bullets in it, because if she's not a virgin on their wedding night, he's allowed to kill her.
What?
Now, I do know that stuff like that still exists. And that's really terrible. I mean, it's really, sad. And there was a documentary, and I forgot the name of the country, but I know the name of the documentary was called The Sworn Virgins. And it's about these women in this particular country where if they choose not to get married, they have to remain virgins. They have to live their lives like men. They have to dress like men, act like men, have jobs that are male related. If they don't want to get married, they have to become one virgin. Because I watched that documentary. It was very unbelievable. Because
Yeah,
I had a friend that was trying to, at the time, help some of those women escape that country so they didn't have to live like that. Yeah, but look it up. You can find it's called, The Sworn Virgins. Mm-hmm.
yeah, I'm definitely putting that on my list.
Mm-hmm.
You know, how do we sorry, go ahead.
I'm wrong. I think I know what country it was, but I don't want to name the country in case I'm wrong.
Oh,
But
no.
it's definitely, it's interesting, but it's just sad. So I am glad that, like, here in America, we are steps ahead, legions ahead of a lot of other countries. But at the same token, we're still not as sexually open as some other countries in Europe, in particular. But we're getting there.
Yeah, slowly but surely. Um, I that is you've kind of just opened up my mind into like a whole other world of questions that I have now, because how do we as people combat something like that in this day and age? This technology that is so far advanced, it's not as if like the internet is you're restricted to the point where you can't find other people's opinions.
Mm-hmm.
How do you usher in a change, in these different areas of the world.
It's
Um,
it's hard. Like, I almost got. Now, we'll say this. Y'all gonna think this is funny, and then I'm gonna give a surprise everybody. So everybody, stay on top. I finish saying this, but I almost got arrested in Bermuda.
what?
Yes, I almost got arrested in Bermuda. True story. I was invited to come there to do an event, and at the same hotel where I did my event the night before, Cedric the Entertainer was there. So all these other people had been over there and stuff. I got to Bermuda, and they gave me, even though they brought me over there and everything, I was given the hardest time because they did not like the way that women came dressed to my event, and they did not like the way that women were talking about sex openly at my event. So the event cost, I think the tickets were like $125, and it included a signed copy of the Sisters of APF. And I got over there, and then somebody tried to say I was supposed to have a work permit. Like, nobody had told me all this stuff. But it was crazy. And I noticed over there that every woman that came up to me and said who she was and then said who she was married to. Like, I've never been anywhere where that happened. It was obviously very important to you. Who you're married to is very important over there.
Right.
It was like, my name is so and so, and I'm married to so and so, and he is like whatever he does for a living. But what happened after that event that night, the next day, I did a book signing at the store, and this woman came up to me. She said, "I just want to apologize for what happened at the event last night." And I'm like, wondering what she's talking about. She was like, "I heard how the women came dressed." Now, the way the women came dressed is like business casual here in America.
Right.
It wasn't, I didn't notice anybody, it was like business casual. But they really had a problem with that. So I was so worried about getting arrested. And I was over there with my boyfriend at the time that we left the hotel like 6 hours before a car was scheduled to come pick us up. I wanted to get to the airport, go through customs, and have my ass seated at the gate.
I just say, for real.
When they came looking for us at that hotel, we were gone.
Right.
We were gone.
Ooh, you bet. Did you have you ever been ever since or no?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah, no, don't ever go back. Don't ever go back.
And not been back.
No, never. Wow.
Huge deal that I was a woman there who wrote those type of books. I mean, like they were really after me. They were
It's
really after me. Yeah.
do you feel like with every book that you write, you make a dent inside of that type of that mindset that or this patriarchal society?
Do I think that what? That
Do you
I
feel like with every project that you put out, that you make a dent inside that mindset of,
I certainly hope so. I hope so. And I hope that this movie really does that. And what my surprise is for anybody that is in this room right now, and Harriet, take note of this. If you I don't know how I want to do this. Um DM Eric Justice, who's pinned at the bottom, and we will do a special screening online for you guys of the movie within the next week. You guys will be one of my focus groups. If you're interested, DM her and just say I'm listening to the conversation with Zane and I want to see the movie. And what we'll do is we'll show the movie to everybody who DMs her. If you're interested, within the next week, we'll set up a time, and here will do it over Zoom and show you guys the movie. Because I am curious to see what people.
yeah. Man, if y'all don't DM her right now, oh my gosh. Wow, I am honored that you did that here. Wow. Okay. Okay, y'all make sure y'all shoot that DM right now.
Because I don't even like this is my first time even doing like a live like this and all this stuff. Ari Justice is pinned at the bottom. DM and she will get you on the list to see the screening. And the only thing that I ask is after you see the screening, please DM me on here and let me know your thoughts, your honest thoughts. And that's all that I ask of it.
Wow, man.
And
This is
spread the word. And if you like it, of course, spread the word about the movie when it comes out.
my gosh, this is an amazing opportunity. Make sure y'all shoot that DM. Wow, thank you so much for doing that.
You're very, very welcome.
Look, now see, I'm doing the interview. I can't even shoot the DM yet. I gotta wait till I'm.
I'm covered, I know.
I have thoroughly enjoyed this conversation with you. And I've been absolutely honored to just sit and speak with you. I don't know if Instagram is gonna cut us off because it usually gives us an hour mark.
I don't know I don't know anything. It might, but yeah, but I want to thank you for having me on here. And that's good to know that it's an hour. I didn't know, and like I said, I don't know any of this. Those join DM Area Justice at this pinned at the bottom real quick. If you want to see my movie, I Wish I Never Met You. Within the next one, a surprise, or private pre-screening, whatever you want to call it. DM her for that. But thank you so much for having me on.
Oh, it's not a problem. I only got two more questions for you. And because this is if one goes into the goal of the show, and the last one, additional thing that we do here.
Uh-huh.
The goal of the show is philanthropy, garnering support from the audience and putting it towards a charity or nonprofit that you care about. What charity or nonprofit would you like to spotlight?
Girls Who Brunch Tour.
Hey!
.com.
I love them.
Yeah. That's the easy answer. Yeah.
I got you.
GirlsWhoBrunchTour.com.
I got you.
Yeah.
I literally love Nicola. See, that's actually my Sauron. Yeah, like I've interviewed her. I sat with Bree. Yeah, there's some amazing people over there. So, Girls Who Brunch Tour. That's what this video is dedicated to, you guys. So definitely go over there, show them some love. We love them over here, sincerely.
100%. Uh-huh.
And I guess my last question, and like I said, this is just tradition.
Mm-hmm.
We always like to close with words of wisdom for the next generation.
What would I get?
Yeah, what words of wisdom would you have for authors who are trying to branch off and do other things? As far as just any other form of art or growing their platform.
Well, the good part about 2022 is that you don't have to wait for a book deal, a TV deal, a film deal, or anything. You can literally do it all yourself. So my advice is to don't let anybody keep you from your dreams, and to go for it. I mean, the only way you know whether or not it's going to work or not is if you go for it. So I would not wait around for somebody else to validate you or co-sign on what you're trying to do or anything. Just go for it. I'm so proud. Now I will say this: I see so many people creating content and all of that, and it's great. You know, so that would be my advice. Don't let anybody keep you from your dreams, and remember that dreams are goals with a deadline. Yeah, that would be my advice. And for all of you that just came in, I don't know if Ari's back on here, but if you weren't here before, I announced that you can DM Ari@_justice, and she will set up a time for you guys to get a sneak peek of my entire new film. Um, uh, I wish I never met you.
There we go.
Yeah. So if you DM her, she will set up a time for the next week and invite everybody to watch the movie. And you guys can be our focus group.
Absolutely. Well, thank you again so much for the honor to be able to sit down with you, as well as for giving that opportunity on this platform, all the exclusive knowledge that you've given.
This is all new to me. Being on an Instagram video and doing all of this is new. But I want to thank you for having me, and I look forward to hearing everybody's thoughts on I Wish I Never Met You.
Absolutely. You'll definitely hear mine. I'm going to be I can't wait.
Yeah, so definitely, I see a couple new people came in. So for those who just came in, if you DM @Justice, who's pinned at the bottom, you're more than invited to come to an online private screening for my new movie, I Wish I Never Met You. So just DM @Justice, and we'll get it on and popping for you. I can tell you this, I'll say this, like everything else I've ever done, you might love it or you might hate it, but you're going to be entertained. I guarantee you that you will not be bored. I'll tell you that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Thank you again.
Thank you.
No problem.
All right. Yeah. Thanks. Bye-bye.
Man, if you don't know, you won't know, you guys. That was the Zane, Miss Roberts. I'm absolutely honored to be able to have her on my platform. That was so amazing. The whole hour that we had is in fact already uploaded. Instagram, y'all make sure y'all complain to Instagram for me and tell them, hey, you need to respect what this man has got going on. Let him have his lives for more than an hour. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. If you enjoy what I do, $Moon, 60% goes to a charity or nonprofit named on the show. And this show was the Girls Who Brunch Tour. And 40% goes to making this the best thing you've ever seen. I honestly cannot wait to be a part of the screening. Y'all definitely send that message over to @Justice _Justice. And this is awesome. All right. I'm Iza Moon, and I'm not doing it unless it's fun and it helps people. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. Peace. Purchase my book, Purple Mike Wants a Bike, at Amazon.com. You can find it there. Just type in Purple Mike, type in Iza Moon, and it'll pop up. If you guys want to follow me, no, not even if, go follow me @Iza Moon _ on on Twitter and Instagram. I'm Ezel Moon, and I'm not doing it unless it's fun and it helps people.